All right. It says I'm live. Why is there so much Oh well. I don't know why it's not smooth tonight like usual. But what how? Happy Christmas Eve, buddy. See if I can get up and run it on Facebook as well. Let's see how that again. Two places at once. It's going to take a minute for me to do this. Want me to okay it. Give me just a second, guys and gals. I don't see a notification here. Someone, yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on now. Footage. All right. Trust this device. Okay. Here we go. Live. Go live. Go live. All right. Expand video. Am I live? Doesn't say I'm live yet. Webcam. All right. Let's see here. Connect to video source. Completing post details on my profile. Post on profile. When are you going to go live? Now. All right. Go live. All right. So I am live on Facebook and on. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. All right, let me see if I can see where all the comments are going to come up. There we go. The comments will come up there. All right. Let's see if I can see what's going on here because I won't be able to see. There we go. All right. All right. All right. There we go. All right. What's up, y'all? All right, got my comments up. Everything's going running good. YouTube. Angry Otter. What's up? How'd y'all crazy cool kids just popped over to hit that button? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Angry Otter. What's happening? Good to see you in there. Happy Christmas Eve. So you can see here, I got my hands full this evening. I got a bunch of boxes I have to break down. See all these boxes over here? Oh, other side. See all these boxes over here? This is what happens when you order shit off of eBay and Amazon, and you have to break them down to haul them off. So that's what I'm doing this evening. It's very festive Christmas Eve, as you can see. I got my drink here. I know that's not very good etiquette to drink stuff while I'm online, but it's my channel and I can do that. What's happening, new viewer? Welcome in, welcome in. It's me. As you can see, I got my hands full here this evening. So, looks like my dining room at the moment. Yeah, I know, right? Amazon boxes everywhere. Well, I got people that live in North Carolina, and I'm actually in Missouri myself. So I have to send things. I have to take little boxes, unpack them, and then wrap them and gift wrap, put them in big boxes and send them on. So that's what I do. But that's what's going on. Let me see. I need to turn this down here. I got an echo going on over here. My Facebook feed is on my phone, and I'm running Facebook too over here. So I'm live in two places tonight. I didn't know I could do that until just a little while ago. I tried it one time just to see how it would work. It seems to be doing pretty good. Hey Otter, are you a new viewer or subscriber to my channel? I'm not sure I've seen you in here before. Maybe I have. I've got so many. I've got 675 subscribers or something like that. So it's hard for me to know who's in there and who's not. Right. Yeah. So you can see this is a lot of boxes, and I've got a box over here started already, or maybe it's that one. Anyway, I got a bunch of boxes broke down already. Just randomly showed up on your feed tonight. Okay, well, awesome. Welcome in. I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of other stuff on my channel yet, or if when you get done here, you can go check it out. I got concert videos, funny videos, muscle car videos. I do a lot of different things. A lot of shorts from things I do, live feeds, that kind of thing. Usually I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons on live feed. I usually do a live feed like on my way home from work while I'm driving, basically just to say hello to people and figure out who's watching and who's not. So welcome in. Glad to have you. Where are you from, Angry? While you answer that question, I gotta go get my knife. I need my sharp knife. I can't do this with this knife I have. So I'll be right back. Y'all hold on just a second. All right, I'm back. I've not been YouTube daily for 7 years. I just drop in random lives and hit like. Oh, you're in Texas. Okay. I'm in Missouri, as I said before. And I've been doing this pretty solid for, I don't know, a couple of years, I guess. Um, I've just been building, man. To try to get started was like the worst part for me. Trying to find like what people were interested in, that kind of thing, and what people want to talk about. And it just really kind of depends on the time of day too, because a lot of my audience is over in like Europe, so most of the places over there are like 6 or 7 hours ahead of me. So it's really, if I'm on it, like 4:30 in the evening, most of my people in the UK have already, it's late at night for them because they're 6 hours ahead, 7 hours ahead, something like that. And I got my CB going. I'm sorry, y'all. So it's really tough sometimes to catch that crowd unless I get on like 2:30 or 3:30. You own a quarter-acre lot of land just south of St. Louis. Oh, okay. I guess you're an honorary Missourian. Well, all right. Well, if you own land here, then at least part of you is planted here, right? So I live. I'm not sure. Well, if you're from the Missouri area, or you've been here before and have land, then you know where Lambert Airport is. I'm not too awful far from Lambert Airport. Um, I've been here. I've been in Missouri for about 15 years, I guess. I'm originally from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I grew up in a little hick town called Mint Hill, which is right outside of Charlotte. But I moved here in 2010, so I've been here about 15 years, almost 16 years. And I kind of planted myself here, and this is what I do sometimes in my spare time. Um, so if I did some videos today, so some short videos, I went to St. Charles, Missouri, to a Christmas street festival they have there, where they have like legends from Christmas and people dressed up and they sing carols, and they have horse and buggy and that kind of thing. It was a really cool experience. So um, I did shoot some video today, some just short videos. I think 3 or 4, and I posted them earlier. And then I posted some more muscle car videos. I like to do muscle cars. That seems to draw a pretty good crowd. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free to type them in. Whatever, stick around with me for a while. If you haven't subscribed yet, I think the subscribe is up here somewhere. And then if you'll just double tap your screen. Charlotte is growing like crazy. My family is from East Tennessee, and we fly into Charlotte and drive 4 hours to Gatlinburg. Okay, right, yeah, Charlotte. Man, even in the 15 years that I've been gone, especially like some like Highway 74, from I would say like right outside of downtown, all the way out past like Hemby Bridge area has really grown. Man, it's terrible out there. They've got like an express lane now, and they've got toll roads and all kinds of crap. It's wild when I go there because I'm like, man, um, and everything changes over the years too. So even though I spent half my life there, there's a lot of times when I go there and I take a wrong turn because something about an intersection has changed. So I can definitely vouch for that. Growing like crazy. But the problem with Charlotte is that it's or it used to be. I'm not sure if it still is. Charlotte's the biggest banking city in the southeastern United States. So they've had a lot of people come in there because of that, and they're not really good with infrastructure. They build all these houses and they put them right on top of each other, but then they don't give you a way to come and go from wherever it is you live. So that seems to have been like a major problem. And of course, when you bring more people, your crime rate goes up. So I'm hearing more and more about bad shit happening in Charlotte. Just especially like on their light rail system. Ever since that Irina girl was killed a couple of months ago, and things like that. So they've had a couple more incidents, and like I see videos every day on like MSN about people in Charlotte getting injured or shot or killed or whatever. It's a damn shame we got to live in a world like that. Hold on just a second. But anyhow, like I say, sometimes I come down here and I get these boxes and break them down, um, just to because when I break them down, I take them to work. We've got a recycle dumpster at work, and I usually do this about once every 2 weeks. So you can imagine, within a couple of weeks, that the level of boxes in my basement goes up. I'm actually downstairs right now. I don't have a two-story house. I have a single-level house with a basement, and like I said, I've been in this area for about 15 years. I've owned this house for, I don't know, probably 13 or 14 years by now. I had a family in Yadkin and Wilkes, North Carolina, back in the 1800s, but don't know much about the area. You focus more on Tennessee. I don't know a lot about Wilkes County. What is that? Northeastern North Carolina, I think. I'm not real sure. Or is that up near the mountains? Yadkin, was that Yadkin River or Yadkin Valley? Maybe. I guess that would be mountains, right? You'll have to excuse me. I'm kind of lost. I've been gone so long, and I didn't like. I lived in like Burke County for a while, which is up in the mountains. I lived in Avery County, which I was in Banner Elk. Banner Elk's towards the center of the state. Okay, that's what I figured. Um, I lived in the mountains of North Carolina for a while. Actually, a couple of different times. I lived in Hickory, Morganton. I lived in Banner Elk, which Banner Elk's right outside of Boone. Well, it's not right outside. There's about 20 miles between the two. But I lived in Avery County up there for a little while. And I've lived in Morganton, Hickory. So, I'm familiar with the mountains up in that area. One of my favorite places up there is Maggie Valley. I'm not sure if you've ever been to Maggie Valley or not, but that's a really nice area. Um, they do have in Maggie Valley, they have a Jeep festival every year, and then they have also the Bike Week in Maggie Valley. I think the year that the hurricane came, was that Hurricane Helene? I think the year that Hurricane Helene came through, they didn't have the Jeep Festival or the Bike Week, um, just because all the flooding and everything was so bad and everything was destroyed up in that area. Um, I had been to. I know that they said that Chimney Rock was one of the worst places hit up there, and I'm familiar with that area because I lived in Asheville for a little while and used to go up on the Highway 74 where Bat Cave and Lake Lure and Chimney Rock and that area is. And it was pretty, from what I understand, that area was hit pretty hard, the worst. Um, Luckily, I got to see it. Let's see, I took my fiance there in 2000. I guess it was 23, maybe. Um, Maybe it was 23, but I took my fiance up there. I'm just glad she was able to see that. There's a lot of family listed on census as being born in the state of Franklin. It's part of Tennessee, North Carolina, and Virginia, so it's hard to pin them down. Yeah, I got family all over the place. Uh, I got two daughters. One of them live in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I've got a daughter that lives in Charlotte. And I've got my son lives in Wilkesboro, I believe. Is that right, Wilkesboro? Maybe. Anyway, lives out near Wadesboro, Wilkesboro, somewhere in that area now. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's chasing down family is kind of a tough thing to do sometimes if you don't have the right resources and that kind of thing. Um, I use a site called Family Tree, FamilyTreeNow.com. And you can type in somebody's name and approximate location, and it gives you like a list of people. So you may want to try that. It's called FamilyTreeNow.com. And when it comes up, of course, you have to do that cache thing or whatever it is. Yakin is right next to Wills. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Wilkesboro used to do a lot of NASCAR races in North Wilkesboro. That's where they did all the NASCAR racing back in the day. I don't think they do North Wilkesboro anymore. Of course, now I haven't watched NASCAR in a pretty good while, so I'm not real familiar with whether or not they still race up there. But hopefully it won't take me too long to do this. I usually do these videos, my live videos. I've had some that last a couple hours, but generally I'm not on any longer than about an hour. I don't really think that I'll be getting a lot of traffic tonight. Hey, Hannah and Rick, a couple of my friends watching over on Facebook. How are you guys? Merry Christmas. As you can see here, I got a mess to clean up. I'm breaking down boxes and putting them, stacking them up so I can put them in another box so I can haul them off. So, well, welcome to my abode. I'm talking to a fella now over here. I'm running two live feeds, y'all. You guys on Facebook. I'm running two live feeds. I've got one going on YouTube, and I'm also on Facebook at the same time. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I got all these boxes here, Christmas shopping and everything, and then of course, normal shopping too. Bob Durant was NASCAR. That's my cousin. I don't know. Was he was he like a NASCAR driver, or was he, what do they call it, the league right under that? Well, it used to be Bush League. I think it's Xfinity now, or at least it was. I'm not sure what they call it now. Um, and then you have ARCA Racing. I'm not real familiar. I haven't watched racing, God, since, let's see, since 2000, probably 17. Famous NASCAR driver. No, I can't place him. You know, maybe I've heard of the name. I'm not really sure. I don't want to lie and say, yeah, I know the guy, but no, you know. Uh, but when I was watching NASCAR a lot, my favorite drivers were Kevin Harvick, and I pulled for Kevin until Kevin Harvick went from Chevrolet to Ford. He was one of my favorite drivers. But when he started driving for Ford, I said, no, I'm not going to support a Ford driver. Um, and then when he did that, when he made that move, and then Chase Elliott came along, I started pulling for Chase Elliott. And I like, in the ARCA Racing series, you have a lady named Sarah Cornett Ching. Um, she's actually one of my favorite drivers. Now she took a little time off, but she's back, from what I understand. I saw something not too awful long ago about her building a car. She's a welder, and I heard something not too awful long ago. Poor Ford, but you don't blame me. Yeah, yeah. I don't really, NASCAR just it really seemed like when they got rid of Dodge and Oldsmobile and Buick, that things just, I mean, you really only got three. You got Chevrolet, Ford, and Toyota. I mean, and they're running the Mustangs, believe it or not. Um, like they started running the Mustangs like a year or two before I quit watching, and but I mean now like they're running the Camaro. I mean, I know the other car companies don't make cars anymore, but what would be really cool is like some of these older, like over at, let's say Darlington, for instance, if they would start running like on the retro series race that they do in Darlington, if they would bring back some of the older cars like the Buicks and the Oldsmobiles and the Dodge cars, that would be really neat to watch, I think. But like I say, those aren't being manufactured anymore. But what's going to be really tough is now. See, most of your car companies now are going to like their SUVs. I don't know if that's you had an Alfa Romeo. Would love to have the race that car, but you traded her in. Yeah, I bet we have a lot of cars, in the past that we'd all like to bring back. I've had some pretty cool cars over the years, um, and stuff like that. But yeah, I can identify with that for sure. Um, I was talking not too awful long ago on one of my live feeds about one of my older cars. My very first car was a 1969 Plymouth Valiant, and man, I love that car. Um, I bought it from a guy for like $300. I was pretty fresh out of high school, and I had a job working in a convenience store, so I was going to school and working at the same time. And but this car came along, it just out of nowhere. It was $300, and I was like, and that's when you could buy cars for $300. You know what I mean? And I think I put a set of tires on it. I think it needed a starter. It didn't leak any oil or anything like that. Um, but it was a great car for the time that I had it anyway. But I threw a rod or something. I don't know. This crankshaft broke, or I blew a rod in it. I guess because I worked at that time. After I got the car, I started working at like a Jiffy Lube or something, Minute Lube, Jiffy Lube, one of those places. And your best friends in high school and had a Barracuda. Unfortunately, had a Ford Tempo. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I had a Ford Festiva, the little roller skate looking car. I had one of those. I bought one of those new. Um, I don't know. I had a couple of cars before that. I think I had I had a Ford LTD 2. I wasn't a real big fan of Ford cars, but when you're young, you buy pretty much anything that has wheels. So I mean, I've had Fords and Chevys, and I've had a couple of Buicks, Oldsmobile. I had a badass 442. It was a 72 442. It had the his and hers holes shifter in it. The one that clicks over, and it goes from a regular shifter to the slapstick. That car was really fun. That was the W31 model in '72, and it had the ram air hood, and it had the deep well grill in it that set back. The back plate on the grill was set back in it. It was a really cool car. Um, and I think I only paid like $500 for that one, but that car was belonged to a buddy of mine, and when I got it, it had a push button start in it. He had it rigged up. It had like a single pole, house switch in it to cut the power off, and then he from the battery, and then he had a push button on it to start it. So when you lived in Tokyo, you had a Nissan Primera. That car could haul. Bought it for use for $500. Oh, I bet so. Yeah, those Nissans were cool back when they first came out. I guess some of them were still really cool. I'm not a big foreign car fan, but um, I have had like Mazdas and things like that over the years. The Ford Festiva was actually a Mazda 323, um, and I had one of those for a couple of years. But I bought it brand new in I think it was like 89, 1990, something like that. Uh, but yeah, those. I really I never did get into like I guess exotic cars because I couldn't afford them. Now I would have liked to have had what was that car? The Toyota Celica Supra GT. That car I would have liked to have had, and then the Dodge Conquest TSI. Those are a couple of cars I wouldn't have minded having back in the day. And those cars were, I guess, they were considered to be top of the line or exotic cars back, in those years. You know what I mean? Um, because they were really expensive. Everything about them was expensive. Parts were expensive. Insurance was expensive. The price was, I mean, for the time, that was a pretty expensive car. Alfa Romeo engine was designed by Ferrari, so it was great, but break down easily for an exotic. Okay, yeah, I don't know how well those cars are built. Like I say, because I've never owned one. I know that BMW, Audi, and Porsche are pretty expensive fixes. When you have those, something happened with one of those. I've had I had friends that had them. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you've seen any of my. I've got some exotic cars and muscle car videos. They're just short videos. I'm not sure how many of those you've actually seen, but you might want to go check those out. I don't know. But it seems like people are really more in tune with with like the American muscle cars than they are the exotic cars for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just that most of us, we can't afford them. Have never driven them. I've never driven anything outside of just the American manufactured cars, basically. Uh, well, except for maybe my Mazda. I had one of those Mazda. What was it? No, I'm sorry. It was a Nissan. It was a hatchback Nissan. It was like a NXT or something like that. You had to replace the engine turbo radiator under warranty. $24,000. Wow, that's That's bad. Oh, you could buy a car. You could buy a whole new car for that. $24,000. Yeah, no kidding. Wow. And that was even under warranty. Now, you didn't have to pay any what? You didn't have to pay any of that, right? That was just all the work that they did. Yeah, totally. Yeah. The last few cars I bought, I had a 2017 Chevy Silverado. Oh no, warranty paid. Okay, I had a 2017 Chevy Silverado that I never had any problems with. Um, when I went to buy that truck, the price on it was like 31,000 or something, but it was a program truck, which basically like had like 3,000 miles on it because they used it for a loaner. So they gave me a $5,000 discount for that. And then because it only had 3,000 miles on it, they also gave me a factory rebate, which was another $5,000. So I actually got the truck for like, well, with my trade in, it was going to be like 18,000. And I drove that truck probably a year and a half. I probably put 28, 30,000 miles on it, something like that. And then my dealership said, "Hey, look, man, we're looking for trucks, but I guess they do this like during truck month or whatever." And they sent me this paperwork and saying, "Hey, we're interested in buying your truck." So I went up there and I thought, "Yeah, okay, we'll just go see." And so they ended up buying my truck from me for 14,000. Now I'd already paid a bunch of payments on it, so I guess in the time that I had it, I probably paid $3,000 or $4,000, and then I got a 22 after the warranty work. You traded it for Tesla Model Y, giving electric a shot. Yeah, I'm not really big on the electric cars. I mean, they're probably pretty nice to have and everything, but I don't know. There's nothing like just nothing like a gasoline motor to me. But then I bought a 22 Chevy Trailblazer, the Rally Sport Edition, and it was a really nice little car. It was comfortable. It was pretty quick. It had a little three-cylinder with a turbo on it. I think that was like a 1.3 motor or something it had in it, but it was only a three-cylinder with a turbo, and it was dependable. But after about 50,000 miles, well, it was actually 59,000 miles. I had it for like 2.5 years. Um, the check engine light came on, and I pulled over. I was probably about 15 miles from home, and I called a wrecker and had them come get it. And they brought it to my house, and I called and the dealership, and I was like, "Hey, look, I've got this check engine light. I'd like to bring this car in." But I was thinking at the same time, if I'm, at 50,000 miles, if I'm having problems with this car already, there's no telling what kind of problems I'm going to have in the near future. So I went ahead and traded it too. And they told me that it was they told me that it was a temperature monitoring sensor or something like that. Basically, all it was a freaking thermostat was bad in it. And they've got this like the whole. You traded a 2011 Camaro for the Alpha, critical electrical fault. I cleared the codes and then I traded it. Yeah, I really like the Camaros. I had a couple of Camaros in my life. I've had a 76 Z28, and then I had a 81 Z28, and then I had an 83 IROC Z. And then I had a 76 Type LT. But I've always liked the Camaros. Just the way they feel on the road, they're pretty tough, and um, they're really easy. Most of the stuff that you work on Camaros, because I worked on my own cars for years until I got old and lazy. So I don't I don't really like working on cars, but I will if I have to. I got an old Trailblazer out here. It's a 2008 Trailblazer that I've done a bunch of work on it myself. Water pump and both front axles, both front wheel hubs. I did a fan a fan clutch myself. And then I've had, of course, brakes and things like that. It just seems like when cars start getting old, and maintenance is key. You know what I mean? You have to maintain the maintenance. She was Chevy red, burgundy red, and she definitely turned heads. Yeah, I bet so. Yep. I had a I had a 2003 Chevy Cavalier that was blue. It was like a midnight blue, and I had that car. Probably, let's see, it was 2003 is when my dad gave it to me for my like 43rd birthday or something like that. And it had the 2.2 Ecotech motor in it. So I kept the oil changed in it and everything. But when I moved here to Missouri, not long after um, not long after I moved here, my mom passed away. And so I inherited a bunch of money. And I thought, man, I've always wanted an orange car. So I took it to a body shop and they painted it the Hugger orange, which is the same orange as is like on the 68, 69, 70 Camaro, the Chevelles, all the old Chevrolet muscle cars. Oh, Josh, you remember that car? Yeah. So I had it painted orange and then I had racing stripes put on it on the hood. Um, and then I got it back in like February of, I don't know, 2019 or something. Well, it was earlier than that. Um, but anyway, I had all that work done, and then like that spring, we had a real bad hailstorm, and the hail was like this freaking big, just beat that car to death. But I drove that car, hail damage and all, for another, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and it. I had to put a clutch in it one time, and it sat for like, I don't know, probably 6 or 8 months at one point. And I was driving it on a really cold winter's day, and the slave cylinder, I guess, had froze up, or the bushings in the slave cylinder went bad or something. But even though the clutch only had like 150, 200 miles on it, I had to pay another $600 because all the parts were under warranty, but the work wasn't. Yeah, you remember when that happened, right, Josh? Yeah. So, man, I love that car. I really wish I had it back. I A few years ago, actually a couple of years ago, I sold that car to my brother because I already had a driveway full of cars here, and I had been keeping it down at my parents' house. And I told my brother, he was in from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or Appleton, or wherever it is he's from. He's a Yankee anyway, and so I told him, I said, "Well, I'll sell you this car. It's nice." And I had just gotten finished putting a new coil because I had a problem with the motor skipping in it, and I had. Hi, Jeannie, how you doing? Good to see you in there. So I had a problem with this car. When it would heat up, it would skip real bad, and I thought, well, and it would it was throwing an emissions light at me for what was it, high fuel concentration or something like that. So I replaced the plugs, the boots, the coil pack, and put a new computer in it. And so that was like, I don't know, it was probably $700 for the stuff I bought for this car and put in it all myself. I sold it to my brother and I said, look, you'll need to take it somewhere and have it looked at and find out what it is. And what it ended up being was one of the wires that was on one of the fuel injectors was bad. And all he had to do was replace that wire or that harness. It was only like $400, right? So he was talking about getting it fixed, and I sent him to a real good mechanic down the street here. And so I hadn't seen him in a couple of weeks, and I hadn't heard anything from him. And I was like, okay. So I went down to check on him and see what was going on. And I drive up in the driveway, and there's like a red Volkswagen. I don't know if it was a Jetta, kind of some kind of little sporty car. Come to find out, he had traded that Cavalier in on this car. Now, when I sold him this car, I said, "Hey, look." Now I've talked about this before on one of my short feed or live feeds before. Excuse me, just a second. When I sold him that car, I said, "Okay, Robert. Now, if you ever decide to sell this car, let me know, and I'll buy this car back from you, or whatever needs to be done." Um, so I go down to my parents' house, and there's this freaking car sitting in the driveway. It wasn't a duck, yeah. So he had sold this car, never talked to me. Now I understand that I sold him the car, I signed the title over to him, and all that good stuff. But if you really, uh, he didn't even give me the common courtesy of giving me the opportunity to buy that car. And I found out that I think he bought that car that he got from like Carvana or something. They only gave him $1,100 for my Cavalier. I would have given him 12 or 15 for it just to get it back. I mean, especially since I knew what was wrong with it. But so I'm still really really upset about that. He's I don't know, man. He doesn't use his head. He's a younger brother, and he's not much younger, but he is younger. And he's not the type of person to really make like good decisions. So I'm still rather upset about that. If I could have been able to find that car, or if I could have gotten a hold of Carvana or whoever bought it and said, "Hey, look, I want that car back," I would have done everything at that point I could to get that car back. Because that was like it was supposed to be kind of like a family heirloom. Um, my dad pulled that car from Missouri to North Carolina. I was living out in the country in Monroe, North Carolina. My dad calls me on the phone and goes, "Hey, Jimmy, what are you doing this evening?" I said, "Well, right now I'm eating dinner." He says, "No, I mean, what are you doing later?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I'm probably going to sit around the house and, not do a whole lot." And he's like, "Well, I was going to see if you wanted to go out to dinner." And I was like, "Out to dinner? What are you in town?" Because dad had a tendency to sneak up on me every once. Should have given you first dibs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they probably sent it to like an auction or parts or something. That car, that Cavalier, believe it or not, it had 246,000 miles on it. But man, I replaced like maintenance, everything that needed to be done to that car. I did it almost immediately. Like I replaced both of the front wheel bearings. I replaced the tie rod ends on it. I had a bad tie rod end on it at one point. I put new rotors on it. The brakes had just been done probably like a year before I sold it. Um, so anything that went wrong with that car, I always try to get it fixed immediately. And I'm a real stickler for maintenance on cars, like I said before. And but yeah, I mean, to think that car, even with 246,000 miles on it, they probably sold it to some junk place or something like that, even though it ran really good. I mean, even with the problem. Hi Sherry, how you doing? Merry Christmas, Sherry. I got people watching over on Facebook too. I'm talking to a fella here from Texas. You guys, your spouse had a Dodge Neon at 300,000 miles. If you take care of them, oh yeah, absolutely. Your average car now are they're so cheaply made. I mean, your average car now. Hi, Sherry. Merry Christmas back to you. Good to see you in there. I'm glad you took a chance to join me this evening. Tell Amber I said hello. Is she around? But anyway, so um, you know, like your average car back, say, like in the 70s, if you didn't do anything to it, that car would last 5 or 6 years at least. You know what I mean? Because they were just manufactured so much better and stuff like that. Oh, hang on. Okay. So I work for a company now that we upfit commercial vehicles, and basically I work on Chevrolet products, the Colorado trucks and the Express vans. And like we do upfits, like, inside stuff, GPS systems, radios, backup sensors, bulkheads, shelving, lighting. We do a little bit of everything. And so I see a lot of the quality of these trucks that come through now. Man, the quality, I don't know what is going on with like the quality control at these places, but especially the GM plant out in. Oh, you're with her now? Okay, we'll tell her I said hello. Hi, Amber. Amber's my daughter from another mother. Uh, Speaking of spouse, I'm being called to unwrap presents. Have a good. Hey, Angry Otter, man, glad to have you in there. It was great to see you. If you ever see me on again, stop in anytime. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you again another time. But anyway, so like I was talking about, these newer vehicles, especially at the GM plant in Wentzville. The Hey, Daddy, you love me and you miss me. Aw, I love you too. 200 grand for what, Josh? Oh, you have a 97 Lumina. Oh, you got 200,000 on it. Oh, that's cool. Right on. Hey, the Lumina was like a cheaper version of the Beretta. You know what I mean? The Chevy Beretta. The Chevy Beretta, from what I remember, was like one of the top rated, most stolen cars in the late '80s, early '90s. Was that Beretta car? They were just badass. You know what I mean? But the Chevy Lumina was like the next one down. It's dirt now. What do you? Oh, you mean it doesn't run? Man, that would be something if you could restore that car and get it back in shape. You know what I mean? Are you still over? You're still over at. You're still over at the. What is it? Napheed. You're still over there now, Josh. We're looking for technicians over where I'm at. I don't know if you. 17-year-old nephew has earning certification in auto shop, high school, and is working as a mechanic. Good. Mechanics make good money, especially if you keep up with all your ASE certification and stuff like that. Um, I don't know, Sherry, if you know, but I'm working for a company that upfits commercial vehicles. I'm not actually a technician anymore. I did the technical part for about a year and a half, but I'm now a quality control technician. So when these vans and trucks, oh, you're in quality, okay. Um, so when these trucks get done and stuff, I have to do paperwork and take photos, upload them, and that kind of thing. Basically, I look for any problems. We got a 1969 truck that hasn't been running for 10 years. Oh, okay. Well, a truck from 1969 um, would be a rather easy fix. I mean, if you have the mechanical knowledge, something like that could be restored. Pretty fairly simply. And I imagine, for a truck that old, the parts would be available, through like some of your like Copart, for instance, or one of those other big like what do they call it, pull apart, somewhere like that. And 100, 100 what, Josh? I'm sorry. It's his grandfather's and has it running. Well, that's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, the old trucks, they seem to, trucks don't really lose their value. So a truck that old, even though it's old, they're still worth quite a bit, the pickup trucks. Let me go over here let me go to my Facebook feed over here for just a second. Let's see. All right, let's see here. Where are my comments? I can't see my comments. Oh, there they are. Okay. It says grandfather's has it running. Well, good. I'm going to go back over here. We have to send you a pic of the truck. Yeah, do that. Send it. Send it through Messenger or something. I'm not sure if you guys, Sherry, if you knew that I have a YouTube account or YouTube channel. Um, I'm actually streaming live now on my YouTube channel as well. I didn't know. I kind of figured out by accident that I could run YouTube and um, Facebook at the same time. I could probably. I also have an Instagram account that I could probably run live on it as well. And then, but I'm not really sure. Like Snapchat, maybe. I'm not really sure. I haven't. I haven't gotten into that yet. And then, of course, I know I have a. I also have a Rumble account, so I could probably go live on Rumble. But I'm not sure what the rules are over there. I know that for YouTube, for me to go live, I think I had to have 100 subscribers, maybe. Um, I haven't been doing this very long, maybe a couple of years. I've been going live on YouTube, and it's been quite a trip. I've talked to a lot of people from all around the world, and I've had a lot of people tune in and things like that. It was pretty cool having this angry otter guy in here this evening. That's the first time I think I've ever seen him. Um, but if you want to write this down, if you get something to write with, my YouTube account is you'll have to do the @ Jim Earhart 3483. That's my user handle, or I can just send you the link later on or something like that. Or maybe I can do that now. Let's see. Bu- 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 my channel. I don't know if I'll. Let's see my channel. Okay, and then copy, and then put it over here. I'm gonna put it down in the comments down here. All right, and then enter. No, enter. Okay, I just entered it. So you'll see the link in the feed here in just a second if it hasn't shown up already. It should be in the comment feed, Sherry. If you see it there, you guys will have to excuse me if my throat gets a little scratchy. I've had some kind of a I don't know if I've had like a cold or what's going on, but like I've had this scratchy throat thing going on for a couple of days, but my sinuses have been really weird, acting really weird. Um, but I don't know if it's allergies or maybe it's the weather changing or, well, it was cold here like last week. And then so far this week, or at least for the last couple of days, it's been like in the 60s. So that could be part of the issue. Um, but I'm not like sick. You know what I mean? I just kind of feel like icky first thing in the morning. But once I get up and get moving around and things, I'm okay. But all right. So what were we talking about? 71 there today. Wow. I think it was 60, 65 here today, something like that. I went out in this shirt um, today, just a long sleeve shirt. I've been having to wear like a hoodie or a light jacket, but today I was able to go out in just a long sleeve shirt. So it's been real nice. Now they were calling. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be like in the 70s. Um, but even with the warmth today, the sun wasn't really out. It was kind of overcast and icky, but it was a really nice day. We went to St. Charles today, um, and if you go look at my YouTube feed afterwards, I posted some short videos today of some of the stuff at the festival. And then, of course, I've got a bunch of live feeds on there. If Amber ever wants to see her daddy, that's where she can go to see me. She can hear me talk and everything. Just head right over to my YouTube channel, press the play button, and she can look at anything she wants to over there. That would be really nice. You sent the pic. Okay, good. I'll look at it after I get done with my live feed. I'm still probably going to be on another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe. I got all these boxes. These were piled up like way up here when I came down here. And you can see I've been working here. I'm breaking down these boxes. Basically, this is my stairwell right here to my upstairs, right there. And what we do is when we order something from like Amazon or eBay or one of those other places, basically we empty the box upstairs, we throw the bikes downstairs. You may be wrong on the year, but maybe earlier. Okay, yeah, I'll look at it. Either way, I'm sure it's a badass truck, no matter what year it is. But so what I do is these boxes accumulate down here. And once every couple of weeks, I come down and break them down. And I've got my CB radio over here in this corner. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you guys my CB radio equipment. It's right there. So this is my CB radio. Then I've got here. I've got a scanner, but I'll never turn it on. But then this is my microphone here. So I press that button, and I can talk. But I just listen more now than anything else. I don't. You believe it's a Chevy? Okay. Yeah, I'll be able to tell when I look at the photo if it's a Chevy or not. You guys have anything special planned for Christmas, Sherry? Just gonna hang out. That thing was cool. What was that, Josh? What was cool? My CB? That wasn't an answer. Anyway, every once in a while, like I said, I think you go on to mom's. Okay, cool. Well, that ought to be cool, huh? Yeah, I wish my mom was still alive. I really miss her, especially like holidays and her birthday. Of course, now her birthday was this month too. Her birthday was December the 7th. I used to call my mom the second worst disaster in American history. Yeah, it's tough. It is. I tell anybody, and I'm sure you do, that if you get time to spend with your parents, no matter how much time it is, always enjoy it and to the fullest, because you never know when the good Lord's going to see fit to take them away from you for His purposes. You know what I mean? So always, always, always enjoy your time with your family. And of course, now I've got part of my family that, right? Yeah, I've got family that is family, even though they don't want to admit they are. Basically, I think I was a family secret, which I did a whole video on that one time about my biological father, Arthur, and the family. That part of the family that I've talked to him before, but I've never like met him face to face. Now I remember seeing Arthur when I was a kid. But yeah, it's their loss. Yeah. Well, I think I've posted on Facebook, and I think you and I touched on that before. So I'm not going to get into that a great big deal tonight because I really don't need to. But anyway, so as I was saying, I do come down here sometimes. I've got like, if you go like right from where I am, this is my desk area here. If you go this way and then back, I've got another part of my basement. I'm actually in the front part, but in the back part, I've got my guitar, my amplifiers, my stereo. It's like a band cave more than anything else. I come down here to get on my MetaQuest, Oculus, and stuff like that. I have a vinyl collection, so I come down. Like when I order a new vinyl record, I'll come down and listen to it. I don't spend the main idea for me when I bought this house. I like that room. It's a pine room, and I really wanted to make it my bedroom, but when I bought the house, that was one of the things that sold me on it. But the problem is I've got a queen size bed, and we couldn't get the box spring down because between that header right there and the floor, this header right here, between that and the floor, there wasn't enough space for me to get the bed down here. So we made it into a man cave basically. And then back on the other side of the wall over here, I've got a wall that separates my laundry room. So my laundry is down here. So when I'm doing laundry, I come down here. If I'm on my CB, I come down here. But I don't put it to use as much as I should, I guess. Let's see here. There it is. My little dingleberry. My little ball. There it is. All right. Man, I had a lot of boxes in here this evening. I usually don't have this many. Or usually they're a lot smaller too, but I've been spending a lot of time running my mouth this evening too. So that's to be expected, I guess. But I don't really have anything special planned. Dee and I went to the street festival over in St. Charles today, so that was a pretty cool experience. Basically, we go over there like 2 or 3 times a year for special occasions. So they had during Halloween they had what they call the Legends and Lanterns. So basically, Legends and Lantern is like when they have characters, you hear about at Halloween, like Lizzie Borden and Dracula and Vlad the Impaler and the Heart Lady from the what was that Queen of Hearts, well the Alice in Wonderland, that thing. And then they have like quite a few other characters, scary characters, Medusa and things like that. But during the Christmas, they have this Christmas Legends festival. So they have like a bunch of characters out there, and they do a lot of like caroling and things, and then they have stations where these people are. Hey, Uncle Gary, how's it going? Uncle Gary's on. Everybody say hello to Uncle Gary. But they have a bunch of like different characters, and they all do like caroling. But they have different stations, that you walk along when you're going down the sidewalks. Merry Christmas, Jim. You have to go. You wish the best for you and the family. Thanks, Josh. Hey, hook up with me sometime, Josh. We'll go hang out or something at a pool hall. Maybe shoot a couple games of pool or something. Merry Christmas. Love you too, Gary. Uncle Gary. Uncle Gary. That's one of my favorite people in the family, y'all. He's a special one, I tell you. Good old Uncle Gary. Well, good to see you in there, Uncle Gary. How's your Christmas going? You doing all right? Got all this stuffing and things. Make sure you tell Evelyn we love her too, Uncle Gary, if you don't mind. Or you can bring her to the camera and I'll tell her myself. One of the two. I was wanting to go to North Carolina this year for Christmas. Actually, I had planned on it. I took a week off of work because I was going to go to North Carolina. I've never spent Christmas with my grandbabies. Awesome. Yeah, do that if you would, Uncle Gary. Thank you very much. But I got to thinking about it. I mean, especially like with gas prices the way they are and everything's so expensive. Now I've been to North Carolina twice this year. I went once in March. I was there for 4 days in March. And then that was for a couple of funerals I had to go to. And then at the end of June, of course, Dee and I went to St. Augustine, Florida. And we went from there to Wilmington. And then we went to our family reunion, the Begley family reunion in Paintsville, Kentucky, the last weekend in June. So I really just honestly didn't want to make the trip again. So um, I decided just to stay home this year for Christmas, which is kind of, it was kind of a bum deal, but um, I feel better about it now because not long after I made the decision not to go on the trip, I got my personal property tax bill, you know, and the government always has to have theirs, and they kind of put a spoiler on my plans. So I ended up just, that was kind of the deciding factor. But for you guys that live in North Carolina, Sherry and I think who else was in there? Let's see here. Sherry and um, well, actually, Sherry was the only one watching. Oh no, Jeannie's part of the Begley family. Anyway, but basically, Sherry, I'll be coming probably in the spring, maybe March or April. I may do my birthday trip again to North Carolina this year. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do as of yet. As you guys can see, I'm cleaning up a mess down here. I was telling everybody else what I do is we get packages. I throw them down the stairs. We empty the boxes and throw all the boxes downstairs. So that's basically what I'm just cleaning up my mess right now. And then I put all these boxes, I break them down and put them all in one big box. And then I take them to work. We've got a recycling dumpster at work that I put all these things in. Let me know and you'll meet us up for lunch. Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's always fun to meet with Sherry and Amber for a little while I'm there. All right, now I can start trying to pack these things in this box here. But so I figured since I had some time this evening, I would jump on and do a live feed. If you guys don't follow me, or if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I don't know whether it's up there or down there, but somewhere like in a white oval, a long oval, it'll say subscribe. And then if you tap the screen twice, and Brandy will be with us now that she's home. Yeah, absolutely. How is Brandy? I know that I've seen like posts. Would you guys go see the Backstreet Boys not too awful long ago? Maybe 6 months ago or so. And stuff like that. How is Brandy doing? Is she doing really well still? I keep forgetting that you've got her. Excuse me, I'm trying to multitask. New kids? Oh, it was new kids on the block? Okay. All right. Yeah, I remember seeing a post about that. I don't remember when it was, but I just thought that was really cool, But she's always loved music, right? From what I remember, she's always loved music. I remember when I came to your house, Sherry. When Brandy got diagnosed, I remember coming to your house, and we would play music, and she would bounce back and forth like rock, real fast back and forth. Right. So I know she loves music. Yeah. Okay. Didn't you? Okay. You had surgery not long ago. Are you healing up pretty well? Yeah, we went 22 and 24. Okay, cool. So are you healing up from your surgery really well, Sherry? You had what? You had surgery on what? Your leg? And then your hand as well? Did you have to go under the knife your hand again? Oh, hip replacement. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't imagine having to do that. But are you're healing up okay and able to move around like normal, or is it taking you a little extra? Oh, Scott Wallace. Hey, Scott. What's happening? Merry Christmas. Scott Wallace is an old friend of mine from Asheville, North Carolina, or at least that's where I met him. Or no, wait a minute. Yeah, it was Asheville. Doing good. Had 3 surgeries, both hands. Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Glad to hear that. I I've never had to go under the knife like that before for anything major. I did have I had surgery one time. I had a job where I was loading and unloading trucks. Now you have to have the other hip done. Ugh, goodness gracious. Well, I feel for you. I really do. I couldn't imagine, having the stress of having to have surgery like that. Especially in your hips. That's that's pretty rough. At least I imagine it can be. But I was working for a company. Uh, we were a supply company. It was called HP Supply, and they would get these trucks in, and a lot of times, like some of the stuff that they brought in was so light, we could just unload it by hand quicker, more or less, than like with a forklift. So I grabbed. They were styrofoam foam cups, and I grabbed a styrofoam. I slid my hand down between a box and the wall, and I got this really long splinter in my finger. And I thought, well, it's still sticking out, so I grabbed what I could and I broke it off. And I didn't mean to break it, but the splinter broke and I didn't get it all out. So I had to have surgery to have it removed, and that's the only time that I've ever really been under the knife. Uh, so I guess I'm kind of lucky, because I used to do a lot of crazy shit in the day, ride motorcycles and stuff, and dirt bike motorcycles, and uh, jumping and all kinds of crazy shit. So I guess it's probably a good thing that I never had, any major surgeries. I've been really lucky. Um, because at my age, I'm 56 now, so at my age, I couldn't imagine, having to, first of all, take time off of work, and number two, well, I know you're pretty much full time with Brandy, though, right, Sherry? You're not like employed by a company anymore, are you? Oh, somebody's in the Carolinas. I want to see if I can reach that guy. Hey, 701. How about it? 701. Wizard 1369 over here in Missouri, waving a hand. Somebody came in. I was hearing them. Yeah, luckily you work from home. Yeah, that's a good thing. Uh, D works from home now. Uh, she got a kind of a dream job now. She works from home most of the time, but she still has to go into her shop, a couple of days a week. I think Tuesday and Thursday she goes to the shop, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday she's able to work from home. Um, but that's kind of she waited a long time and went through a lot of frustration and stuff like that, just waiting for this job to come open. It was something that she had been talked to about for a few years, but never had the opportunity. Now, when the opportunity came along, of course, she jumped right on it, and of course, I can't blame her for that, because it's more convenient for her, and it gives her a little bit of headspace time, but she's really happy with it. and I'm really happy for her. I'm hoping maybe one of these days I can get a job working from home, but doing what I'm doing, that's not possible. Let me see here. 701. Hey, 701. This station out of St. Anne, Missouri, Wizard 1369. I'm waving your way. Yeah, they can't hear me. Less wear and tear in the car, less gas. Yeah, absolutely. Now she bought a new car. Well, it's not new. It's a 2015. It's new to her. She bought that car. Well, actually, I bought the car, put it in my name, but she makes the payments on it, so it's her car. So it's a 2015 Chevy Traverse, and when we bought that car, it had like 84,000 miles on it or something, and it just turned 95,000 miles. So in a year and 6 months, she's only put like 10,000 miles on this car. And I still, when I bought the car, I got the like extended warranty on it. So we have a warranty with a deductible up to 125,000 miles, and we've actually had a bunch of work done to it already. Like we drove it for a couple of weeks, and when we first got it, and there was a bunch of little things that I found, and I would write them down, as I discover the problems. So we took it into CarMax. That's where I bought it. And I gave them this list, and I said, "Hey, look, man, these things are wrong with this car. Can you guys fix it?" They were like, "Heck yeah, we can fix it." So they went in. They spent like $5,000 fixing all the things that were wrong with this car, um, and gave it back, no questions asked or anything. And then not too awful long ago, I had it had a check engine light. There was one of the emissions. There was something like a oxygen sensor or something that went bad, and we took it to the Buick place because in order for us to get it to CarMax to have it fixed, I would have had to wait a couple of weeks because they were just that backed up. So um, we went. I took it over to the Buick place that my company deals with, and they looked over at everything, and there was the motor mounts and transmission mount were bad on it, and so they fixed that under the warranty, and it would have cost like 20. I think it was like 22 or $2,300 to fix those parts, with labor and everything. But the warranty took care of it. The only thing I don't like about the CarMax warranty is that if you have something that's wrong with your car, you have to deal with you have to get the people to call, like a service writer or whatever. They call the company, the insurance company that does the warranty, and they say, "Hey, look, we've got these issues with this car." I think it's kind of like if it's an immediate problem, they'll fix it. But if it's something that can wait or get worse, they'll leave it be. So she's also got an oil leak in the front seal. Now I don't know if it's on the top or the bottom or where it's at, but they want us just to keep an eye on it, to see if it starts leaking oil real bad, and then if it does, they'll go in and fix it. It won't cost anything. Um, the good thing is that with the warranty that I have, if I take it to CarMax, um, I have a $50 deductible, and if I take it anywhere else, it's only $100 deductible. So I still spend a little bit, but it's not like I would have to replace it all on my own, which is really cool. But anyway, I'm getting ready to start wrapping this up, y'all. My throat's getting weak. I can feel it. My voice is getting weak. Um, I think it's just, I don't know if this is, like I said, allergies or what's going on with me. But it's been all week. Like the first couple of days, it wasn't too bad, but it seems like at night it progressively gets worse, and then during the day, of course, it gets better. But um, I'm pretty much done with everything I need to do. I think got all these boxes broke down. And I've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take off, guys and girls and wild ones of all ages. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you all get what you want. Santa Claus is good to you. And make sure you check me out. So again, sometime I'll try and do these simultaneously again from time to time. So Sherry, tell I love you. Tell Amber I love her, and I'll talk to her again soon. Give Brandy a hug and kiss for me. Everybody else, Uncle Gary, if you're still watching, I love you too, Sherry. Uncle Gary, if you're still watching, I'll talk to you again pretty soon as well. Y'all have a good night and a great Christmas, and I'll talk to you again soon at some time. All right, let's end the feed on Facebook. Bye. Okay, end there. All right. And I'm still live on YouTube, but there's nobody talking. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, if you guys on YouTube, if you've not subscribed or if you've not liked my video, please do. You guys have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take it easy.